myself, or played it, but I have a feeling that I would probably die 5,000 times during that time. Let me read through a couple more donations while Withheld is still in the room, because I believe we still have a few more that she would like to hear. Peter Zane gave $20 and said, "Cheers to SDA and SGDQ and the great work being done here. Here's to Super Marissa World." Marco, I already read yours. Mohammed Azray Mohammed Yusuf gave $20 and said, "Hey, Mazay here. Was watching you guys run since AGDQ 2013 and got into speed running myself. I hope that I could be up there to run Bastion one day. Great to see SGDQ and being successful as well. Put me up for that Marissa Perler. Yeah, if you have the chance to run Bastion, that would be fantastic to see." Carlos Flores gave $30 and said, "This is Dine." Oh, I read your comment before, but thank you very much for donating, Carlos Flores. Welcome to the confusion that happens late at night. Eric Diavignon gave $20 and said, "Good luck Withheld. Super Marissa World looks like an ordeal. Put this money toward the runner's choice." Keanu Lump gave $13.37 and said, "Thank you guys for the great weekend and keep your great work up. I love watching speedrunning and it entertains me every day. Put this towards the Dark Lord ending. I don't care if it exists or not, Kappa. I would love to see the audience do an impression of the Praise the Sun emote. Guess everyone of the Dark Souls players knows what I mean." I am going to go ahead and run one commercial real quick, so please don't go anywhere. Oh, you know what? This little thingy is not able to run commercials right here. Oh, no. Would you be able to, Kira?
Say what?
Run a commercial real quick?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we will be right back in just a minute. Thank you.
Was it running as video? Yeah. Okay. The game it renders at 720p even if you're in full screen, so.
Okay.
Window just makes sense.
Oh, what was the time for Marissa World?
Which would be
39:24.
PlayStation controller.
Are those sleep settings? It's just fucking up with the screen, man.
Yeah, if we can turn sleep off.
Yeah.
I haven't had an issue with Dark Souls. I'm pretty sure it only happened because the game was using a different control sort of thing.
Probably because it didn't have, like, it had input but wasn't the same kind of input.
Right.
Still, probably preferable just to disable it real quick.
I would agree.
Yeah,
It's probably
so
the time.
there it is. Disable. Yes. That should. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Ryan Davis one. So. Where can I change the sleep settings? I guess window keys disabled.
Power settings.
Yeah.
That's all scroll off. Yeah. Yeah.
Never.
Perfect. Alright.
Alright, I believe we are back.
Cool.
So great, we have Dark Souls with Ubergoose.
There's down there.
And also, the file name is Ryan Davis, which, does anyone here know the history of Ryan Davis?
He was the co-founder of Giant Bomb, I think.
Yes, and I know that he recently passed away, and our wishes go out to his family, to all of his friends.
Yeah.
And we know that that's a hard thing, but hopefully, I know that a lot of people here have been donating to remember him, and I think that's something that's really that has been fantastic from the community. So thank you so much.
Yep.
And we do remember him.
No. Okay, so one thing that I have to explain right away that's pretty important is I'm doing a route called the Black Knight Halberd, and in the route I need to get a random drop weapon, and if I don't get the weapon I have to reset because the file is basically, I can't finish the run. And I have a safety save set up in case that happens, but I will go for it twice, so if you can be ready on the time to reset it after the first attempt if it doesn't drop.
Okay.
And with that, I guess we're ready to go.
All right,
So,
give me a countdown.
Yep. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is Dark Souls. For those who don't know, this is a game by From Software, and it is supposed to be a JRPG with Western elements, basically. Western RPG elements. And it's very, very combat focused, and it's very cool when it comes to routing. There's a lot of different routes that you can do for the game. And for this route, I started Hunter, because Hunter has the best starting stats for the weapon that we're trying to get, and will actually allow me to use the weapon at the soonest possible point. Take that. And so this first area is the Undead Asylum, which is basically the tutorial zone. This area is all about stamina management. As you can see, I'm sprinting, and my stamina bar, which is the green bar in the top left, is going down as I sprint. And the most important part in this entire run is pretty much stamina management, because if you bottom out your stamina, you actually have to regenerate about 120% stamina before you can sprint again. And then if you get to the top, the end of the bar, then you're just wasting stamina, and because of that, wasting time. And here, one of the questions I get a lot is, why don't you kill this guy? It's actually 2 seconds faster to button mash through to get those 2 items from him.
Do you have audio on?
Yeah, I'm not hearing it either. I will need audio at some point, but
Unfortunately, I'm not hearing it either.
You can pause and try to fix that.
yeah, I'll pause once I get to Firelink. This game doesn't have an actual pause feature,
Okay.
so for the Asylum Demon, the reason that his health went down so fast in the first hit is because I did a jumping attack, and when you do a jumping attack, it basically tricks the game into giving you both the plunging attack damage as well as the special plunging attack damage, and it just results in a double hit. And that's pretty much the Asylum. Should be out of here in just a second, and then we'll try to get audio sorted out, I guess. Okay. So no, the game settings look fine to me. There should be audio from the game.
I can hear the clicking from
Yeah.
the PC now.
There we go. Okay, got it. Okay, so I pick up those 3 humanities. Humanities are a very useful item in this run, just because of the main purpose that they do is they heal you to full, no matter what your health is. So I'm going to pop one here. That'll heal me up that small amount of health, which is actually relevant, or could be at least. And so the other thing that humanity does is it also increases your defenses slightly per humanity, as well as your drop rate, which, since this run is based on a random drop weapon, I might as well increase my drop rate as much as possible, so I won't have to reset, hopefully. And in the Undead Burg, this place is full of these guys. These are called Hollows, and they have very, very random AI. Pretty much anything in the entire game that is controlled by AI is somewhat based on RNG. So every single attack can be random. There's no such thing as a pattern or anything like that. So there's a lot of reactionary movements that we have to do. Unfortunately, I got hit by the firebomb. So here I'm going to grab gold pine resin, which is the only real way that we can kill gargoyles right now. I missed the jump. That's another thing I should talk about. There's no jump button. That is the worst thing possible. Okay, so that's what we call goosing it, affectionately named after myself. Unfortunately, when you die, you go back to the last bonfire, which in this case was Firelink, which is really rough, and all of our souls and humanity are all the way over there. I didn't expect to actually die to that at any point. But I guess getting hit by the firebomb beforehand did not help. That barrel will only deal about half your health and damage, so normally it's fairly safe to get hit by it. You don't really want to, obviously, but you can. If you jump at a precise angle, which was what I was trying to do, then you'll jump over it. And yeah, so we've already been through here. That means doors are open, which is convenient. Unfortunately, this is going to take a long time to get back. I could, but I haven't practiced it in forever. And I don't know where my souls are, actually. So that's the thing. When you die in this game, it's a lot more punishing than pretty much any other game, because you lose all of your souls and humanity that you've been holding up to that point. Yeah. So you have to actually retrieve them if you want them back, which can be really, really bad sometimes. Yeah. And unfortunately, this run, there is a point where I'll be having to store 75,000 souls into the next area, which is fairly dangerous. And then here is Havel. He's a big guy with a big weapon. And if you do that, you can bait him into an attack most of the time, and then he won't actually catch up to you. So now we're in the Darkroot Basin. This is where we get the weapon, and I'm assuming my time is something like 7 minutes or something terrible right now.
It's 6.
6-6, okay. Because of that death in Undeadburg. But normally you'd be getting to this point around 5 minutes or so into the run. And we're popping the final humanity. The reason I'm sprinting all the way until my stamina is almost out, and then popping humanity, is for optimal stamina usage. If I'm just walking, then that's slower than sprinting. And if I'm going to pop the soul or the humanities, I might as well do it when I would be walking rather than when I would be running. So here's where we get our shield. It's the Grass Crest shield. It gives you stamina regen. It's very helpful, especially during boss fights. And we backstab him off the cliff and hope for the best. And if it drops, it drops. If not, okay. Shield is not the weapon we want, so we are going to be resetting this one. We'll do one more attempt, and then I'll just go over to the safety save. So, yeah. So you can restart the time. Right. So unfortunately, we're going to have to go through all of that again. But, yeah, hopefully I don't goose it again. Okay, go.
All right, I do have some donations to read out as we're working.
This would be the best time. Go for it.
Okay, great. To catch up on the Withheld and Super Marissa World, Derek Diavignon donated $20, said good luck Withheld. Super Marissa World looked like an ordeal. Put this money towards the runner's choice, which she said towards Melee. Tim Tugan said, love the outfit Withheld. Wade Locisano said, digging that hat Withheld. Good luck, Super Marissa World is not an easy game. Murphy Berzich said, with $20, said, Marissa, put this towards Withheld's choice. And John Melancon gave $5 and said, don't worry about the name. Well, I probably slaughtered it, but that's okay. Keep up the good work, everyone. The $5 goes to Funk Doc's choice. 501 from James Bowman. He said, hey, Goose, Azure here. I did it. I took 3 days of solid attempts, but I did the Duke skip.
Nice.
Thanks for the tutorial. Hope you get it faster than I did.
Congrats, Azure.
Yeah. _/hype. Hashtag Goose is loose. Big hearts from me and Cyrano, who I'm one-upping by a penny.
Shoutouts to Cyrano. He's a cool guy.
Martin Langstead gave $100 and said, lost a mouse to the twin gargoyles. To all Dark Souls players out there, you're not alone in your suffering.
Yeah, don't use a mouse when playing this game. Yeah. Actually, okay, there's one thing that I want to address. There was a donation goal that was met for praising the sun during load times. However, being on the PC version, the load times are incredibly short. So I'm going to try to keep it to praising during the load times after a boss. Basically when I would split if I were using splits. Which, I'm sorry if that's not as much as you want, but it's about like half a second otherwise. You can keep going.
Okay, great. We have a $10 donation from Sam Stewart, who said, been watching all week, but when it came time to donate, I know it had to be during Dark Souls. No doubt this run will join DKR and Paper Mario as my favorites of SGDQ. How about another $10 if you'd get the well, what is it gesture from Oswald, and taunt the next boss with it. Either way, no doubt there's an amazing run ahead. Good luck, Ubergoose, and thank you to all the runners for making this event possible. Money goes to Runner's Choice from Applesteak.
Put that towards Melee.
Towards Melee. Okay, great. $25 from Luke Hanratty, who said, have you been practicing the Gwyn jump, Perry Goose? Or are you too casual? Can't afford to give very much, but this is a great charity to donate to and a great runner to watch. Christopher Miller gave $15 and said, can't wait for Dark Souls. Great work, all. Jonathan Drobig gave $5 and said, hey there, Cyrano here. Just wanted to say hey to all the Dark Souls runners and a huge shout out to Ubergoose, Kixen, and Oven Donkey.
Again, shout outs to Cyrano.
Yeah. Ryan Morris gave $20 and said, hey Goose, Falcor here. It's the moment we have all been waiting for, and sadly I will probably be asleep by the time this is read.
No.
Anyways, get that pay base, son.
Alright, well, Falcor, I gotta say, is probably one of my favorite viewers because he actually donated $250 to help me get here, which helped me so much. And
It's amazing what kind of support people give to help us.
Yeah, Falcor is a really, really nice guy. Okay, so we're coming up back to the spot that we were before. Hopefully, okay. So now goosing it wouldn't be the end of the world because I do have more than half health, conveniently. So let's try again. Normally you just aim at this railing and yeah, it just works. So you can just jump over the barrel's hitbox. Yeah. And then this jump is just because I need to get into the next staircase, and straight line is faster than going around the edge of the circle.
Now, is there fall damage in this game? Because
Yes.
That's a pretty big fall.
There is a percentage-based fall damage in this game, which will come into play later on. Okay, thank God. So Havel can actually one-shot you at pretty much any point in the game. He is a powerful guy. And unfortunately, when you're opening that door, it gives him time to catch up to you. So, fortunately, I didn't die a second time. So this one should be going a lot better. We should be hitting 5 minutes by the time I pick up Grass Crush Shield, or maybe a little after. And we'll do the same thing, and again, hope and pray, but this time if it doesn't work, then I'll swap over to the safety save, which is already at this spot with the halberd. So it'll basically be like it dropped anyway. And the confusing thing about the menus in Dark Souls is that the menus will remember your current session where your cursor is. So the reason that I was able to equip the Grass Crest that fast is because in this session, I had already equipped it into that slot as like the last thing. Okay, no drop, keep the timer going though. I'm just swapping over saves. So to the second save. Okay. So this is the same exact spot, but we have the halberd. So imagine it drops. You will see what it looks like soon after gargoyles, though. So normally I would actually gold pine resin to kill this crystal lizard coming up, because I do need 2 twinkling titanite, which is a material used to upgrade the halberd. But I'm not feeling too safe about the marathon and all that, so I'm going to actually save my resin just in case I have a horrible death to gargoyles or something terrible happens. Because normally this route you have very precise spots where you use the 3 resin. First one being there, and then the next on the gargoyles, and the third to kill Oswald. But I'm not going to use it on the lizard, just for safety. And then we just go this way. So a big thing about Dark Souls speedrunning is actually just knowing where you're going. And basically this route is very well planned out. You don't take any extra detours unless necessary. And the issue with speedrunning Dark Souls is that everything can kill you at any point, and it's based on some amount of RNG what attack they're going to do. So this guy could shoot lightning at me, in which case I have to get up the stairs quick. He did not. So I use audio cues for a lot of stuff in this game, and I'll try to point out when I do. There's one spot later in the run that is very obvious for the audio cue. Okay, here I'm just leveling up my strength. Leveling costs souls, which is why we had to have a precise amount of souls. And you need stats to use certain weapons. And the halberd needs 22 strength and 18 dexterity to two-hand. And it turns out Hunter and Warrior, both with the start that I had, can have those stats by the time that they beat gargoyles and warp back to Parish. So that's pretty much that. And then here is a room coming up that, when you first start speedrunning, is the worst room in the entire game because it is very, very heavy in RNG. I will be referencing RNG a lot because this game is filled with it. Fortunately, I made it through pretty nice. There's about 30 hollows in that room that can just destroy you. I'll try to look at them down there as they slowly filter through the door. And if they do the wrong attacks, or if the channeler doesn't do his little dance that powers them up, you can get comboed very easily and murdered. And now here's the first boss of the game, first real boss that is. And a lot of people will know about this because it is a mandatory boss. I'm only killing mandatory bosses in this run. Fortunately, it's 3-hit stagger on the gargoyle. Okay, counter hit's fine. Flying up in the air is very bad, but getting a counter hit kind of makes up for that. So the first gargoyle is dead, and the second one's breathing fire, which is exactly what we want, because 3-hit stagger, 4th hit dead. And yeah, and then we're going to climb up this tower to ring the bell, which is mandatory. And then after we ring the bell, we're going to go back down and kill Oswald. I guess I can get what is it? As the nice gentleman said, he would donate an extra $10 for it.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Good.
So here I'm going to take what looks like an incredibly terrifying drop that is actually very safe. So I'm using the resin here, and then I'm doing 2 perfect rolls forward, and I land right there. So normally, if you take any extra steps, you actually just die. But fortunately, we're fine. Let's learn that what is it. And by the 1 homeward bone. And then we're killing him mercilessly because we're a mean person. Whoops, didn't want 3 hits, that's fine. And then we have to praise the sun. So now we have 22 strength and 18 dex, and we have 4 souls left over, and that's how precise that is. And now we're going to do the next boss, which I guess part of that donation is also to taunt the next boss with, well, what is it? But that's kind of scary. Yeah, Quailag. So those who played the game, Quailag is the second boss who guards a bell. She's basically a giant fire spider with a woman's body on the top half. And so I'm unequipping things because in this game you have different roll speeds based on your equip load. And the halberd is very, very heavy. And so your equip load, it's not just your equip load, it's also based on your maximum equip load. So the halberd, being as heavy as it is right now, I actually have no way of light rolling with it equipped yet. So I had equipped it there just so I can move as fast as possible. So again, I'm a mean person. So we're going to kick this guy off of a cliff. He's not cooperating. Yeah, that's true. There we go. So if you get the right angle, it can be very fast to kick him off. And then we're quitting because I want what he drops. And NPCs, when they die, if you reload the zone, their items are where you killed them. So, with what? No, they show up if you reload, even if you kill them with a weapon. Well, it does, but it also, if you reload, it'll be where they spawn. Okay, so the ring is the big one that we wanted. I'm going to unequip this resin so I don't get confused.
Just so you know, whenever you want, we have tons of donations that are coming in.
That's awesome. I have a bit more explaining. But first, this is a part that I have actually died on in practice a lot more than I feel comfortable with. So I'm kind of afraid of it. I shouldn't be at all because it's the easiest trick in the entire game. But this is called Blight Town Drop. And all you do is you walk off of a plank at a certain angle, and then you fall down and survive barely. But it's absolutely terrifying to me, the fact that I've actually died a lot. These guys are also very RNG heavy. Okay, good. So only one of them did the cross attack, which is the scary thing. And here's hoping I get it. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, I did. So that's Blight Town Drop. It's absolutely crazy that it works, but it's very easy to pull off. It's very, very straightforward. And go for donations. We have a bit of time.
Great. Soju I gave $10 and said, I know it's not much, but I do like the Funk Doc and withheld finest coast support from back home. Please put this donation to whatever you'd like from Koopa. Anthony Tanner gave $5 and said, O Signa, our Lord, deliver us your input. Sean Swinley gave $10 and said this donation goes towards naming the Dark Souls character Costanza, and shout out to Cosmo for his Ocarina of Time run earlier. It was amazing to watch. Unfortunately, we've already named the character, so too bad. No, thank you for the donation. It's great. Austin Curtis gave $20 saying, Austin, want to give a shout out to all you guys. Real great cuz you are playing for. Also, a special shout out to the incoming shame I am about to feel for how long it took me to beat Dark Souls the first time. Lift Boss OP.
We are now at Quelaag, and fortunately because the top half is a woman's body, it has 0 poise. In this game there's something called a poise system, which means you can take a certain amount of hits before your poise is broken and you stagger, and that was unfortunate, I dropped it. But Quelaag's body has no poise, meaning one hit from any attack whatsoever will just stagger her, like so. And if you do it perfectly, you can actually just kill her with a stun lock. That was still a really good Quelaag though. Oh yeah, I didn't taunt her. I really would rather not taunt a boss, because in this route we get very low amounts of vitality, which is health. So any boss is terrifying. Not really. So there's the second bell, so this opens up Send Fortress for us, but we're going to take a little detour first, and then praise the sun! Alright, so this detour is going to be to Sif, which is a giant dog with a sword. Not Amaterasu though, unfortunately. So here, a giant dog with a sword. You'll see. Don't worry. And we're buying the Crest of Artorias because there's only 2 ways to get the Crest in the entire game. One way is to buy it from Andre for 20,000 souls, which is what I just did. And then the other way is to kill Andre mercilessly. Even though I'm a big jerk and I like killing a lot of people, I'd rather not kill Andre. Mostly because Andre will body me with his fists. So, yeah, fists and drop kicks. He is a masculine man. So now we're going towards Sif. You might recognize that little pool of water that we walked through from the very start of the run, because we did just cross the path. But this time we're actually going to fight another mandatory boss. This boss is pretty notorious because this boss can actually one-shot you. Most of the bosses in the run can't one-shot you, maybe 2 hits or so. But Sif can one-shot you if you time a roll improperly. And, okay. So that's where we use the Crest, and that's just the fastest way to get to Sif, so you do really need the Crest. There's one other way to get there, but it is very long and arduous. You don't have to kill the Hydra, actually. I've been corrected on that. Yeah, you can make it up the ladder. Alright, so this is something that I haven't practiced at all, but let's hope we get it. Yes! Okay, nailed it. So that's Ruin Skip. It's something that shouldn't be hard at all, but I'm bad, so I make it seem a lot harder than it is. All you do is you walk on the railing. Although it's a very strange slope, you have to sprint at a very precise angle to make it up on the railing. There's another way to do Ruin Skip, but it is a lot harder, less consistent, and it's slower. So if we gotta do Ruin Skip, you should do that one. And then we are almost to Sif. This game is probably the closest thing to a boss rush mode that speedrunning games have. Pretty much the only parts that you actually do things aside from sprint are bosses.
So outside of actual boss rushes?
Yeah, outside of actual boss rushes, of course, but for just again, I guess Shadow of the Colossus is also similar, but there's a lot more traveling in that game. Okay, so the reason I only have Halberd equipped and no shield, okay, so Sif is being a jerk. Yeah, he's hopping around a lot. This is what I'm talking about with RNG. Sif is a nightmare because he can actually just waste time. He's not necessarily hard at any point. Also, this frame rate's beautiful. So he's not necessarily hard at any point, but he can take about 30 seconds out of just hopping around, which is really obnoxious for a speedrun, because the fight should only last 30 seconds to a minute. And as you have probably noticed by now, and I forgot to mention, when you roll, you have invincibility frames in part of your roll. So as long as you time your roll properly, nothing can hit you aside from certain magic attacks. All things considered, that was a good Sif fight. Pop the soul because... Oops, there's my bone. Thought it was in a different spot. Oh, I know why. Praising! You guys asked for this, so... Alright.
Shut up, yes you did.
So I'm going 17 endurance because that is the amount that I need to have halberd and shield and light roll. And then 27 strength because that is the amount of strength that I need to 4-shot Ornstein, who is a boss coming up in just a bit. Not this boss, but the next one. This is Sen's Fortress. There's a lot of traps, and I'm going to make it look easy. Go for donation.
Great. Mark Rizzo gave $50 and said, "Bye you, Billy Bones here. Loving
What's up,
this
Billy?
run. Here's hoping for some more Funk Doc withheld streams in the near future. Put this towards Freya's choice." Daniel Green gave $40 and said, "Thanks to all the runners for making this event even better than the last. Been looking forward to the Dark Souls run for ages. Light the fires." Putting $5 to take the Blue Glass Dust duet over the limit, and the rest to playing Die Hard music during Die Hard %. Cameron Manson said, "I'm too sleep deprived to think of anything to say." Toho Alabelova said, "Yup, or sup y'all. I've just returned from the vacation and very happy to see that I made it in time to see the Dark Souls run. Best of luck to Ubergoose."
So when you're backstepping, you actually have infinite poise, which is what I was referring to earlier. And that boulder actually, instead of being just it knocks you down, it actually has a poise break value. But infinite poise is clearly higher than some arbitrary poise break value. So you can actually just backstep through it. You get 1 to 3 hits, depending on when you backstep. 1 is very hard, 2 is the most common, and 3 is very hard in the opposite direction. Go ahead.
Great. Just as a note, we are at $197,000, so during this run, we could very possibly pass 200,000. I want you guys to donate. I want to do this during the night shift to show those day people what's up, okay? Kyrie Carter gave $5, said, "Stayed up super late just to watch this run. You're awesome with hell. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Let her choose where this goes." Alright, she chose Melee back in the day. Let me see it. Yes. Nico Clear said, let's see. I have read several of these comments before. They're already coming back for some reason. Let me go ahead and mark these, and hopefully they're okay.
Well, we're at a boss now. This is the Iron Golem. So the way that I'm going to defeat him is by actually making him fall off the edge, or at least that is my hope. If it fails, it fails, but if it works, it'll look awesome. I think I hit the wrong leg, but it might still work. It did work. Okay, so as you can see, he gets staggered after a certain amount of either damage or poise break or some combination of the two. It still hasn't been confirmed, and then he just falls off to his death. And conveniently, we actually got a later firebomb than usual, so we were able to actually just go straight to Anor Londo. And we are in Anor Londo at something like 20 minutes, which is an accomplishment that I don't think many players can say, aside from speedrunners, of course.
You know, looking at this game, some of it has looked very creepy, but this area is very beautiful.
This area is supposed to be the city of the gods, basically. This game has some of the most in-depth lore of any game I've ever played, and all of it is just phenomenal. Yeah, none of it's presented. You actually don't have to watch. Like, if you want to play through the game without knowing any lore, you can quite easily. So it's this really cool. Yeah.
That is very nice.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to be praising the sun in possibly the best location once I hit this elevator. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the sun. Yes, well, kind of. I don't want to spoil anything. And praising! Alright. So now, we're going to do the YOLO jumps because this is marathon and that's where YOLO strats are used. Hell yes. Alright, perfect. That jump is actually terrifying. Fortunately, I didn't look down, so. Alright. Yeah, they really are. Especially because there isn't a jump button. The way you jump is you actually hold sprint and then let go of sprint and tap sprint. It's the weirdest control scheme, but it works. Duke skip is terrifying. You guys, if you guys don't know what Duke skip is and you have played Dark Souls, it will probably blow your mind when we get there. Unfortunately, that was getting backstabbed. Oh, did that kill me? I hope that didn't. I hope so. That's scary.
Yeah.
Sliver left.
Okay. I have to ask this really bad now, because this is too scary. Alright, so those guys have the weirdest backstabbing mechanics. They can backstab you from pretty much any angle. They can backstab you while you're rolling. They can backstab you, like, no matter what, they can backstab you. The only way that I found to stop backstabs sometimes is by hitting the menu, bringing up that menu. Which is weird, but it works sometimes. And then we are going to, as usual for this run, we're going to run past absolutely everything that stands in our way. Say hello to the first boss.
I think we kill like, what, 3 mobile enemies to be there?
Okay, so for non-respawning enemies, we kill the Black Knight, we kill Oswald, and bosses. Respawning enemies, we kill the Silver Knight. And that's it. So if you guys are fans of Pacifist for, say, Ninja Gaiden, then Dark Souls is fairly similar. Hopefully. Okay. So this part is scary because these guys can throw lightning spears at me. That's why I'm zigzagging. And this is... Ooh. Oh, that's good. Okay. So I knew I was safe there because I saw an arrow actually collide there. Ow. That's why I healed. Jesus! These guys want me dead. They know. This is the marathon luck coming into play. Okay, so if you're casually playing through this game, this is possibly one of the hardest parts of the game for you. But unfortunately, we're speedrunning, so it's going to look stupid easy. And that's it. Yeah. So I'm going to take this safety bonfire. If I were actually running for PB, I would not because it wastes about 12 to 15 seconds. However, again, marathon, so... Yeah, Ornstein's Mo, the boss coming up, is one of the most obnoxious bosses in the entire game in terms of what they do. And as you can see, I have 76,000 souls, and I haven't spent it yet. I will be spending it soon. I won't even have to... Oh no, I kill one more enemy, actually. I kill one of the Batwing demons that I land on top of. Well, I mean, kind of have to. I'm landing on his head. I'm grabbing... So I'm just going to speak ahead so we can get through some donations, I guess. I'm going to grab an awesome bow that I'll be using to kill a guy later. And then I will be upgrading my halberd. And then going to fight the boss. So go for donations.
Justin Hill gave $21.12 and said, my third donation. I've been getting hyped for the Dark Souls run for weeks and checking out Goose's stream whenever I'm able to. Goose is one of the absolute best Dark Souls runners around, and his tutorials and explained runs have helped out so many people who want to go fast. Shoutouts to the Dark Souls players of boonboonmaro.com. Brendan Geha Cornell said, to Ubergoose for posterior.
Thank you.
Craig Warren gave $5 and said, hey, your friendly neighborhood Lanix here. And all I have to say is Goose.
What's up, Lanix?
Haha, keep it up, everyone. Only wishing I could donate more. Money is a thing. Duke skips all across the board, and best of luck on your run, man. Sif, please toss this in with the Smash Brothers finals, because you can't ever have too much smashing. Michael Samuels gave $20 and said, I'm happy to donate to support those who experience Dark Souls tier difficulty in real life. Shout out to those at SDA, and also a shout out to the other Dark Souls speedrunners. It's a great community. James Bowman gave 501 and said, "Hey Goose, Azure here. I did it. It took 3 days of solid attempts, but I did the Duke skip. We heard this one before, and somehow it weaseled its way back in."
Okay, hang on. Boss. So, Ornstein... Oh god. Yeah, this is going poorly. Okay, so I'm going to abuse rolling so much in this run because I have to. So fortunately, and unfortunately in this fight, Ornstein has less health than Smo. He just keeps shoveling. So this is where the RNG really comes into play, because this is a 2v1 boss fight basically. Either of them can kill me with 2 attacks, either of them, and that roll is frame perfect, by the way, to escape that. That's why I took the safety bonfire. So as you can see, this boss fight sucks, because you have to fight 2 bosses at once. They're both rolling the dice constantly, and if Smo does nothing but shoveling, you're pretty much SOL at that point. But that, again, is why we took the safety bonfire, and that ruins the deathless. But I'm okay with that. Any deathless run in this game is insanely fast, no matter what. It's really hard to go deathless, because there's so much stuff that kills you. I just want to reiterate how much everything hurts in this game. Every single thing just does so much damage. Okay, this is better-ish. He's walking now. Okay, blocked, that's not that good. So, they split up. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. He lagged after an attack. So 2-hit stagger, and hopefully we just get a quick... There we go. Alright, that's how that first phase is supposed to go. It's 4 hits to kill Ornstein if you have the prerequisite strength. Which of course I do. So Smo, when he's super, is very scary for that attack alone. That attack can one-shot you. And it is 3-hit stagger for Snow. He's gonna butt stomp. Okay. Okay, that was good. That was actually a really good fight. And now we have to quickly equip to... Well, I guess I don't need to equip that yet, but... Now, after defeating that boss, I'm supposed to get something called the Lord Vessel, which I would normally get by talking to this goddess here. However, killing her is much faster, so we do that. Shooting her straight in the face, of course. Because where else? Praise the sun. And jump. Oh, I missed the audio cue. Okay, so that turned Danilon to dark, so there's no more sun to praise. And then we level up 16, 20. Okay, we have extra souls, so 17, 20. I need 20 dex for the Dragon Slayer Great Bow. Okay. And now this is a very precise jump that saves about 4 seconds if you get it first try. Nice! Yeah, it saves about 4 seconds if you get it first try. About 3 seconds over the other skip. That's 100% consistent. But that jump is really, really precise and finicky. And then we will move on our way. Also, I'm sorry if there's like not time to read donations. This run is pretty action-packed.
Well, priority goes to your comments.
Fair enough.
So we still love the donators. We still love everything that's coming in. But we'll only be able to read some of the comments. We're still getting your donations.
Yeah.
We're still working towards that 20,000 or 200,000 by the time night shift ends.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is New Londo Rooms. This is one of the places that is actually available from the start of the game. However, if you come here at the start of the game, you will get absolutely destroyed by everything. Well, even if you do, like, the ghosts will just kill you. There's no way that you can kill these ghosts that early. So normally to interact with these ghosts you need a curse or a cursed weapon, but obviously that'd be way too slow, so we're just going to avoid all of them as usual. And this room is normally very scary, but if you run in about halfway, juke back, and then back through, you can actually get through in one go. Even though you can't attack ghosts without a curse, you can still collide with them for some stupid reason. So you have to bait that one ghost out of the door. The reason I'm going to kick this ladder is to drop all of the ghost aggro, Surprised the frame rate didn't drop. That ladder, for no apparent reason, just drops the frame rate on everything always when you kick it. So here's the guy that we have to kill. He gives us the key to the seal. Aim a little bit. There we go. He gives us the key to the seal, which is an item that we need in order to lower the water here in order to fight the next boss. And normally you have to go through Ghost House is what it's called, but it's very scary because spooky, scary ghosts, and killing him is faster. So we get the key on auto loot, and then we're going to lower the water and go into the King's fight. You have about a minute to read donations.
Great. Chris Fowler gave $10 and said, Goose, 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 Goose. Good luck on your run, Goose, and good luck to the SGDQ goal. Marshall Lodge gave $10 and said, hey there, Goose Master, Logium here.
So
5 hearts, 5 Mustang. May the blessing of the Iron God be upon you. Where does the money go? Let Goose decide. Ryan Tracy gave $15 and said, this is my first time watching a CDQ marathon, and all I have to say, it has been an extremely enjoyable experience. I'm looking forward to how this Dark Souls run turns out. Praise the sun. Fabian Stroh gave $20 and said, praise the sun. Good luck with the Dark Souls run, Ubergoose. Put this money to Goose's choice.
Okay, so now we're in the Abyss, where there are no landmarks whatsoever. As you can see, it's just pure blackness. And the only reason that we actually survive the drop is because we have the ring that we got from Sith. If you don't have that ring, you actually just get taken by the Abyss, and it's really gross. So the reason I'm actually waiting to attack these kings is because I would rather not counter-hit them. As you can see, they have a full health bar and then a tiny health bar above the king's head. So each individual king has an individual health pool, and then all 4 kings as a whole have this big health pool. However, the hitbox for the kings are open a little bit after they die for a couple seconds to take extra damage for the overall health bar. And if I counter hit, I can actually bring the kings to a sliver of health. I'm getting grabbed. To a sliver of health without killing them. If I counter hit, then they will die instead of staying at a sliver. His health is somewhat safe. I didn't want to. Oh, that's bad. Actually, that's not terrible. Okay. So, the reason I have the stone armor on, this is why I did rune skip, is to get the stone armor, is because these kings, for whatever reason, do very little poise damage, and their damage is proximity based. So if you're close to them, they actually deal a lot less damage than if you're at the max range. So as long as I'm close to them, I can tank many hits without really having to worry about it like that. And after this king, as you can see, we're on the 3rd king, and the health bar is, the overall health bar is much less than a quarter at this point. And this king will die now. So that was 3 kings, which is very consistent with this route. And now I'm going to talk to the NPC that a lot of people probably haven't seen from the first playthrough. This is faster real time, however it is slower game time, but because I'm doing marathon, I might as well go with the faster real time strats. And that's something to mention. Dark Souls records are based on game time to both get rid of version difference as well as worse computers can actually compete at that point. Because the game time is based on frame rate and completely takes out all of the load screens. So it's the most consistent way. And now we're heading to Duke Skip, which is arguably the hardest trick in all of Dark Souls. And it's the biggest sequence break. It saves about 6.5 minutes if you succeed the first time. And the reason I rolled there is because I accidentally bottomed out my stamina, and I'd rather get to sprinting sooner. And you can go for a couple more donations.
Great. Mark Schimmelbusch. I'll say it like that. Gave $20, been playing Dark Souls religiously for the past few months. I'm glad to see Ubergoose finally do his run on my day off from work. Praise the runners. Gave Bjorn Hammervist gave $10 and said $10 and subscribe. I'm a student, so I'm not rich, but I give what I can. I'm a diabetic type 1, so even this have nothing to do with it. It means a lot for me to see people caring for each other. Really big love, you guys. It means everything. Love from Sweden. Bjorn will be awake for the rest of one and donate more. And I think it's Captain Cag is his name. Michael Parrott gave $10. Loving the manly as heck Black Knight halberd route. It's not fair putting all my favorite games in one day. Now there's no way I can sleep. Oh well, it's totally worth it. Oh yeah, praise the sun.
Okay, this area is very, very RNG heavy. Fortunately, I actually got through very nicely. So now there's nothing. But that first room, there are 2 hollows who, if they do a jump attack, can hit you, and both of which can actually deal about 3/4 of your health and damage with said jump attack. And if they both do it, you're actually just dead. And if one of them does it, it throws off your timing, so you could potentially just die to the channeler, which is also bad. So here's the Duke Skip. It's an incredibly complicated trick, but it looks incredibly straightforward and basic. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll off the elevator, back onto the elevator, onto a railing, and then roll onto another railing, and I'm going to skip 6.5 minutes. That was too early. This is the railing I'm trying to land on. Yes, this trick is insanely hard, because Dark Souls has very, very fluid movement. There's no, like, a roll won't go the same distance as if you take, like, 1 step before it. It's very, very strange. Well, it can, as long as you don't have the S-Fix. The S-Fix is the thing that messes with physics sometimes on lower frame rates. Okay, that was... no, that was fine. The angle was off. I want to emphasize how difficult this trick is. Normally I can get it in the first couple attempts, but bear with me. It shouldn't take over maybe 5, so...
But still, this is faster. Even with 5 attempts, it sounds like it's going to be much faster than going the normal way.
Yeah, well, the normal way is actually a mandatory death, so it's awful. You go up that way, and you die, and then it puts you in a different area, and you have to go through this entire different sequence, which is really gross. Okay, we're on the railing. Now comes the hard part. I edge over this way, and then... Okay, perfect. That was Duke Skip. It looks super easy, but it's the hardest trick in the entire game.
Well, good job getting it.
Thank you. And, of course, we bring out the YOLO strats because I don't die to see. Fingers crossed. See, this is actually a very, very easy boss, but he can kill you if you're just not paying attention at all or you mess something up. But we can hope that that doesn't happen. The next area coming up is actually an area with invisible platforms, so when you see me walking on air, it's actually intentional. And then... Okay, so we go down here, and then Crystal Caves. We're going to take 1 drop in Crystal Caves that looks terrifying, but is actually very safe. There's about 1 spot in here that I could actually potentially die that isn't safe, and I'm kind of scared, but I haven't died to it in months, so.
Don't be scared.
I am scared. This game is scary. Yeah, I'm very consistent at getting no clams, which I'll explain when we get there. So I'm going to drop here, which looks terrifying, but is actually perfectly safe. And then there's 1 golem that we have to juke, which is the part I'm referring to where I might die. This golem is very strange and inconsistent. If he does a jumping attack, I have no idea when he's going to land. He did. Okay, we're around him. That's safe. Okay, no more worrying. Now we just have to deal with the clams, which are they're these monstrous, disgusting-looking things. And the next boss fight is triggered by cutscene inside the boss fight, so the fog gate actually doesn't exist until you trigger said cutscene. As you can see all the way, that little shiny thing at the back is the crystal that's in the boss fight. And these clams are so close that they can actually get inside the boss fight if you drag them in before hitting the cutscene. And then they're in the boss fight with you, which is really obnoxious. And I'd rather that not happen, so this is the no clam strat, and there we go. Good. So this should alleviate myself of any worries about clams. However, that one is close. I don't think he made it. I definitely think he's gone. And then I shoot that with an arrow because I can 1 cycle. Oof. Missing that attack means I probably can't. So I'll play this safe, especially because no safety bonfire and marathon. The Seeth's attack is always that straightforward one. These crystals can actually curse you, which is somewhat scary. Okay, good. That's actually an attack I want. If he was doing his other attack, I would actually probably have run away, but that attack is safe. So that's C. What? Are you kidding me? Oh, God.
Wow.
I didn't get cursed, but now I have to redo Duke's Hit. Oh. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? He's never had that low health. I don't think it's actually possible. Well, that's like a 5-minute loss. That's the issue with dying in this game. You lose a lot of time. I feel terrible now. Yeah, go for it.
Great.
You've got like 5 minutes.
I have plenty to read, though. Tab 2. I'm not sure how to say your last name. Tatu says, what? A safety save? But I wanted to see an hour of resets. Let Ubergoose decide the fate of these dollars. Brandon Wilson gave $10 and said, thank you for the entire marathon. Praise the sun.
Yeah,
Staying up despite work early tomorrow just to watch the Dark Souls stream. Hope next year to see more games like this, and I hope to learn a lot from this. And this goes to Goose's choice. Vooligan donated. He said, Vooligan here, you look tired, and I know I'm tired, but stop goosing it up and get a good run here. Lucius Daniels Jr. gave $20 and said, thank you all for a great weekend. Donating to charity is awesome and speedrunning is awesome. I especially enjoyed Pilot Wing, Super Metroid, and Mario 64. Lucius.
Oh yeah, this elevator.
Matt Jones gave $10 and said, hey Uber, Patch here, wishing you luck with the run. No RNG, plus hope O and S doesn't give you grief. Joshua Wilfong gave $20 and said, good narration, Goose. You got me started on the game, and one day I might beat that Grave Lord. Runner's choice. Joshua Altieri said, SGDQ has been awesome and have been looking forward to Dark Souls for this was announced. Good luck to Goose and give this to whatever he wants. Praise the sun. Hendrik Mueller gave $10 and said, amazing event with the most amazing game going on at the moment. Go for sub 60 and praise the sun.
Well, that's not happening now.
Yeah.
It's pretty far away. That's actually why I set the estimate to be very lenient. Even though my personal best is under 1 hour, stuff like this can happen. And seeing as Dark Souls is such an unforgiving game, instead of like a normal game, if I were to die to Seath, I would just restart Seath. Instead, I have to go all the way back to where I last rested, which in this case was very far back. And I have to redo Duke's Hit, hopefully first try this time now. Now that I'm a bit warmed up. Yeah, first try. So that's fine. I'll take the safety bonfire now. Even though it's going to lose even more time now, I don't want to press my luck anymore.
Well, it looked like it was pure randomness that really nailed you there.
It could have been, but in reality, since I missed my running attack at the start, I actually shouldn't have relied on that attack killing him. Pretty much any mistake in the game can be brought back to yourself. Like, RNG does play a part, but for that, the example of that, since I missed the starting attack, the running attack, Seath had he had just a bit more health than usual, because the running attack does a bit more damage than a normal attack, so that's why I thought he was dead, and he wasn't. So I want to apologize for that. I am really embarrassed that I died to Seath. That is not a boss that you should die to at all. But we'll go back to him and hopefully seek redemption. This time's going to be a bit more awkward, though, because the crystal should be reformed. There is a fog gate, so I won't have to worry about clams, yeah. I haven't actually had to do Seath like this in forever. Hopefully I get to make up for it with the later parts, like Cecil Skip. But, yeah, Seath can be annoying when you make mistakes. He does punish mistakes very well, but as long as it's very easy to not make mistakes normally. I'm actually not sure how to. I mean, I know I have to break the crystal. Basically, okay, the reason I have to break the crystal is because Seath is actually invulnerable to damage until the crystal's broken, and breaking the crystal also stuns Seath. So when I shot him with an arrow, I had about enough time to do maybe 3 or 4 swings of the weapon before he broke out of the stun and chose an attack, which should let you one cycle Seath, which I was almost able to do. But of course I failed, so. That's really obnoxious. I died to 2 spots that I've I really shouldn't die to in this run.
We have a few more that we can read out if you'd like.
Yeah, go for it. The Seath fight's very boring.
Okay, Roofing Wang gave $10. Yo guys, never played Dark Souls, but have always been curious how it works. Thanks for the awesome event and all the great entertainment. What a great cause to donate to. Alan Roledo Ayala donated 20s. Said, hello, good old Malk here. Shoutouts to Ubergoose and Kixen from the Dark Souls community. I hope both of you are having as much fun as I had while watching this whole marathon. Put 10 of these dollars to Ubergoose choice and the 10 remaining to Kixen choice.
Okay, that's the explosion that he killed me with before. Normally when you see that, you run away, but of course last time I thought he was dead, so I didn't, which was quite stupid. Yeah, I have very, very low humanity because my souls are on the ground over there. Let's just make sure he's dead. Okay, he is dead. That boss shouldn't actually ever be hard. Where are my souls? Again, I apologize. That shouldn't have happened at all. Okay.
Well, I'm still enjoying the run myself.
Thank you.
And I'm still loving this. I want to
Okay.
play this when I get home.
Praise the sun. I think it happened. I think it happened. Did I not praise the sun? I think I praised the sun after ONS. Or after Four Kings, did I not? I probably didn't. I must have missed a praise there. That's probably why it happened. Okay, so the next area we're going is Catacombs. And this is another area open from the start of the game, and yet again, you should not ever do it at the start of the game. Because they're reassembling skeletons. And they're terrifying.
Four Kings is technically the only boss you can do in 4 cents, but just they give it to a Lord Soul.
Yeah, that is true. Four Kings is the only...
You not get all the way to Nido.
Yeah, the Lord Soul... every Lord Soul, which are Four Kings, Nido, Seath, and Bed of Chaos, are only open after you place the Lord Vessel, except Four Kings. Four Kings is available from the start of the game. Yeah, and you have to kill Sif, so... And this area, we will be using a pretty major shortcut, although it is fully intended. Okay, when you're interacting with things, you're invulnerable to damage, so that's why this guy's not a threat at all. Okay, no skeleton in the doorway, that's good. Yeah, pretty sure.
Bed of Chaos is actually
Yeah, the ceaseless skip. Ooh. Ooh, these skeletons are trying to fake me out now. So I'm just going to walk off this edge, and then roll off of this edge, and then I survive. Now this skeleton should actually be right behind me. But here are bone wheels, say hi to them, and say bye to them. They're gone forever. Thank God. Well, this guy's persistent. Yeah, nah, I'm good. So the bone wheels are terrifying because they deal a whole lot of damage very quickly because they just roll into you. Yeah. And then here's the hardest boss in the entire game. I don't know if I'll even be able to beat him right now. Like, this is no way. I'm not ready for this. No, dude. I got lucky there. Yeah, so Pinwheel is super easy. And I hold open the start menu because normally you get a message that blocks out all inputs for a couple seconds when you get the Rite of Kindling there. But if you hold up the start menu, that message never pops up, so you can actually climb onto the ladder the second the wall starts moving. So here's Tomb of the Giants. Normally you need a light source, but of course we're speedrunners, so instead we just memorize everything. And it's not even that bad, even without memorizing it.
just gonna follow the wall for the most part.
Yeah, you can follow the right-hand wall.
There's a few places you break off.
You don't actually have to at all. After you're down on this level, you can actually just follow the wall all the way to the end. But this is faster this way. Going here, rolling to the right, and then I run past the skeleton and jump. Missed it. That jump is somewhat finicky. It saves like 2 seconds if you get it. So
This looks scarier than Zelda 2 without candle.
it's pretty spooky. And
Just scare you with
here's
though.
the coolest looking area in the game, but we don't see it at all because it's optional. And I'm going to ask this because I don't feel too safe right now. So there's another crystal lizard. We'll be coming up on Nito. Just going to use stone armor, tank everything. So you have some time for donations.
Sounds great. Let me go ahead and get to those. Sam Stewart gave $15 and said, well, what is it? I decided to up my extra donation to $15 because Ubergoose called me a nice gentleman. And also to say thanks for taking on my silly request. I understand not wanting to taunt Quelag since I am still terrified of her as well. Good luck with the rest of the run. Money goes to Runner's Choice from Apple Steak. Eduardo Angelo gave $15 and says, hi guys, Mikuo here. Just wanted to thank all of SGDQ for all the awesome runs and good luck on the run, Goose.
He might not do it though. So he has a shriek attack. I might as well taunt him, right? It takes him a while. Let's get rid of that one for the well, what is it? And then let's well, what is it? All right, good enough. He's not screaming, which is really lucky. So he has a scream attack where that sword that he just swung at me actually just comes out of the ground wherever you are. And you have a very precise timing window to actually roll it when you're fat rolling, which I am with stone armor. And then that's the explosion. Unfortunately, I broke my poise because the skeletons hit me too much. Stone armor makes a lot of fights way easier, and that's it. That's Nito. He's mostly a pushover. Nothing really to talk about. And light A. Good. Praise the sun. Okay. And now we have Bed of Chaos. Ah! Like I said, this jump is really precise and finicky. You have to basically angle yourself to hit the bench at a precise moment and jump like that. Alright, we're just going to go down through Blight Town, and that's pretty much that. So you have a bit more time.
Great. Alan Sandel gave $10 and said, shout out to the Anne Orlando Archers. Johannes Vikstrom gave $25 and said, praise the sun. I get to say that a lot today, guys.
Welcome to Dark Souls.
Just a quick shout out to Grace.
Thank you, Grace. Shout out. Yeah. Felix Bowl gave $250 and said, hey y'all, I love what you guys are doing, and I want to help out with the 200K mark as well as donate during the Dark Souls run.
That's awesome.
I actually beat Dark Souls with keyboard and mouse. Praise the sun. Greetings from Holland.
Good for you.
So yes, we're coming close to the 200,000.
Very close.
Right now we're at about 197,500, so about 2,500, a little less than 2,500 will get us there actually. So please, within the next run or so, I would like to meet that goal. Come on, praise the sun with your donations.
Oh yeah, also, I just want to do a quick shout out to the French restream. I actually talked to Exerve, and I believe his name is Canon Kessin, who I believe are the two commentators for this run. So shout out to you guys first off. And it's awesome what the French community is doing for the GDQ events.
Yeah, we have a lot of amazing people who are off-site. All of the French restreamers, all of the commentators over there. Also all of the chat mods who are very much unseen, but will still actually listen and do their best to create a good environment for our charity and for everything that's happening here. We also have people falling asleep at tech stations. Which we love those people.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how we live here. So there are a lot of faces that you don't see that are really helping out here. All of this is volunteer work for what's happening with SGDQ. And we're really happy to work towards this charity that's happening.
Yeah. Okay, so coming up is the Cecil Skip, which is another decent sequence break. It saves about a minute and a half if you get it first try. But obviously, because I'm trying to show as much as possible, I'm going to go for it. Even if I die to it, I'm just going to keep going for it until it works, or until I'm out of humanity, at which point it's almost impossible. But basically, what it does is there's a giant boss over there called Ceaseless Discharge. You can either do the fight legitimately, which would include waiting until he attacks by slamming down his giant arm, and then after that, you would just hit the arm. Or you can kind of cheese it by bringing him back to the entrance, and he'll basically fall off of a cliff. But this way is actually faster than both of those. And since we don't need the souls, why not? So I shoot that arrow because that capper down there will hear it and walk off the edge. As you saw, he turned. And then here, roll, roll, roll. Safe spot, roll. 1, 2. And so rolls having invisibility frames, of course, help. And I'm sorry for your eyes. I had a feeling that was going to happen. So that spot is normally not too hard, but there's a little spike in the rock there. And if you do what I did and hit the left side, you're pretty dead. Unfortunate, but again, I'm going to keep going. So basically the idea behind the Cecil skip is that you abuse your invincibility frames, and there are safe spots on all the rocks along the way. And you just go across the rocks until you're at the other side, basically. So that arrow should work. I might just heal here. Normally I go straight to that next rock, but it feels safer healing here. I'm not sure where my souls went, but oh well. Yeah, whatever. They're lost in the bloom. Okay, so that's what's supposed to happen. And then... Cool. So yes, I am standing in lava, but this is a safe spot. And this should be the last rock, and we're pretty much home free. And there we go. So that's the skip. And unfortunately I died. I'm dying in really bad spots this run, but hopefully it still shows off what I'm trying to show off. And then we move onward to the Demon Fire Sage, who is mostly RNG, but isn't necessarily hard. He's just obnoxious. He has one main attack that is an explosion that is undodgeable, so you have to just run away from it, but the AoE is quite large. But that's pretty much that. So if you have any more donations, go for it.
Great! Daniel Wolfgang gave $10 and said, "Praise the sun! Dark Souls is one of the best games of all time. Would like to thank all of you for a great weekend. Cheers!" Albin Wenberg gave $20 and said, "Hey Goose, Razor Priest here.
What's up, Razor Priest?
Love the Ruin Skip and getting hyped for Fall Death in the Abyss. Shout out to my amazing girlfriend Carrie, who has a sleep schedule as messed up as mine without even watching the marathon. And good luck with the rest of the run. When in doubt, just remember Dark Souls has no RNG. Honk." And there's a picture of a duck. Okay. Ryan Conrad.
Oh no, that's a goose.
That's definitely a goose.
Oh, it's a goose.
Oh, it's a goose.
Duck, duck, goose. Okay. Just a goose. Ryan Conrad gave $10 and said, "I'm donating and hoping you will cheese Centipede Demon by making him fall through the wall. I'm playing and watching Dark Souls right now. Praise the sun." Leo Chilcott gave $20. "Loving this. 20 for Dark Souls. You're doing great. Have a hat."
Okay, so Centipede Demon, as the nice donator was able to point out, there is a way to cheese him. However, it takes forever to set up and is quite random. But basically, it's this weird glitch where if he does his grab attack on you, he can actually just fall through the wall and down until he hits the kill plane and dies. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to fight him on his terms. And Centipede is the other boss. Him and Sif are the two bosses that can really just troll you with RNG by just jumping backwards so you can't even attack them. They won't kill you, but they jump backwards a lot. And okay, so I didn't take any damage from the first bit of lava with a well-timed roll. Second bit, you always take one hit. Okay, good. This is the attack I want. It landed on my head, but whatever. Ew, gross. Don't like that attack. Okay. And as you can see, we just kind of chunk him really bad. And that's it. That's Centipede. So that was pretty much optimal Centipede. There's no way to make that any faster, except maybe not getting staggered on the first jump attack. But that was still really fast. And now we have the boss that basically ends all of my PB attempts. or at least has been for like the past week. Yeah, Bed of Chaos. So those who play Dark Souls remember Bed of Chaos being the worst boss in the entire game because it's very random. So Bed of Chaos, like any other boss, bases its attacks off of proximity as well as random number generation. So basically, there is one attack called Firestorm, which will probably kill me. And it happening is random. It happening twice is the worst luck possible. And I'm not taking any safety bonfires because YOLO strats seems reasonable enough. And fortunately, these dragon buffs, you can just kind of sprint between their legs and they can't hit you. So, easy way past them. And then we're going to run past a bunch of more stuff and then Bed of Chaos. And hopefully I don't get, like, triple Firestormed. Basically, Firestorm is just giant pillars of fire shoot up from the ground and will damage you for a lot of damage, as well as knock you into the air and in a direction specifically behind you. So if you're on the branch, which will make sense when we get there, if you're on the branch, then the Firestorm will actually just kill you by knocking you into the pit. And if you're not, you can normally live 1 or 2 hits to the Firestorm. The rest of the boss isn't even that bad, except fireballs after the first orb are bad. But fireballs are like a 1% chance to happen after the first orb. So, who knows? Especially with Marathon luck, who knows? Alright, gonna drink an Estus because I want near full health, if not full. And I'm gonna punch the first orb. Basically, the way this boss operates, instead of having a health pool like any other boss, the boss has 3 nodes. There's one on the right, one on the left, and one in the center. The one in the center is only available after the 2 on the side are destroyed, and destroying each of the 2 on the side opens up the Bed of Chaos to new attacks. Firestorm can only happen after the second orb is destroyed. And the orbs don't actually have health, so you can destroy them with whatever you feel. If you want to hit them with your fist, go for it. If you want to roll into them, sure, why not? And if you want to shoot them with arrows, which is what I'll be doing for the second orb, then go for it. So first orb's down. There was a cutscene, but unfortunately you can skip cutscenes in this game. Okay, good. No fireballs. That's good. Fireballs are the only thing that can really kill me there. So after the first orb is dead, the floor starts collapsing, which makes the second orb pretty much inaccessible unless you do a very terrifying jump. But instead, I'm going to sit in a very safe location and shoot arrows at it until it's dead. Which is why we need a bow in every speedrun for this fight alone. That was way too far to the left. This might be 5 shots. Could be... No, okay. Okay. So now we have the center node left, and this is the part that sucks. No Firestorm yet, so I'm really hesitant to try to go for the branch. Okay, there's Firestorm. This is what I'm talking about. These pillars of fire come up, and they deal much damage and are very scary. So you can roll through Bed of Chaos' attacks to make it easier to fall into this branch. And wow, Bed of Chaos didn't even swing its arms. That's lucky. And now we're pretty much home free. The only thing that can hit us now is Firestorm, but it won't. It shouldn't kill me. So, okay, that's Bed of Chaos. And now we have one boss left in the run, and that is Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, who is the final boss of the game. And to keep with the theme, I will do some YOLO strats for Gwyn. And of course, we have to praise the sun. Okay. Melee. Okay.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, the kiln, I'm just going to run past some Black Knights, and then that's pretty much it. So, go ahead.
Okay, great. Well, Nathan Pierce gave $15 and said, good luck on your run for Dark Souls. Praise the sun. Ugh. Okay, Michael, I shouldn't be grunting about that. I've been saying this too much. Michael Samuels said, Vastvidia here again. I need to give props to Goose's amazing commentary skills during an amazing run. Keep it up. Thomas Yang gave $50 My last donation went to the doctors. This one goes to all the speedrunners. I want to correct you, it actually still goes to the doctors because it's their charity. Okay.
Sure.
But to all of us, all the speedrunners. You guys are awesome and always a joy to watch, and it's even better when you combine it with the stream monsters. Praise the sun! Yeah. If there's anything left to bid for, the choice goes to runner, announcer, Raymu, depending on how lazy, tired y'all are. Keep up the good work. Cool. Where should we send it?
I think Melee. I really want to see this.
Okay, yeah, let's send it to Melee. Do you think it's been met?
It was pretty far away.
I think it still is pretty far away,
Yeah.
so we'll send it there
Yeah.
to Melee.
All right, so one more time before the run's over, I would actually like to apologize for the horrible deaths in the run. Those are deaths that I normally am able to avoid, but when you have one shot, what are you going to do? Sometimes you make mistakes. Yeah. Sometimes you make mistakes, and I happen to make a few. But this run still should be a decent time. Obviously not sub 60, but... Alright, so I'm going to equip Stone Armor for Gwyn, and here come the YOLO strats. I'm really bad at this. It's very consistent, but I'm bad, so... Yeah, okay. Late parry. So you can parry his first attack. Gwyn is a boss that you can actually parry, which is weird. But, fortunately, it doesn't really matter, because he's very, very straightforward. I will actually Estus here, because my health is a bit low. So, Gwyn has a couple attacks that can be a bit annoying. That's the attack that I want him to keep doing. There is a potential AI loop that's not quite consistent, where you just drink an Estus, and as the animation ends, he goes for it. But we got decent luck anyway. And that should be the end of the game. Get ready on time. And... time. 109.28. Okay, that's fine. That's much slower than like any of my practice runs, but again, I died in probably the worst locations. This is the Dark Lord ending. Might as well watch it because the time is nowhere near sub 60, so game time's pretty irrelevant. Cutscenes do add to game time, unless there's loading going on behind them. So this cutscene will add about 55 seconds to the game time. And that was Dark Souls. I hope you guys enjoyed. And again, I apologize for those awful deaths. I feel really awful about those.
Oh, don't worry about that, okay? We're here at a charity event. You still put on a great show and did stuff that none of us, that many of us could not even imagine. So,
I understand, but as a speedrunner of the game, those deaths really hurt. Alright, so that should be about 107 and some change. Alright, that was not that great. Oh well. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And this has been Ubergoose playing Dark Souls. Right now we are going to be moving on to another PC game, and this one is Dust Force, played by Marsh Fighter Paladin. I'm going to be taking off and someone will be spelling me, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. If we could have Kiera start that up, and then we'll get it all set up. Thank you very much, everyone. Praise the sun.
Yeah, nobody can see that.
Need help,
That was so bad.
So bad. What is your current time?
That's still kicking
Just the username I have.
So then you get beat for
Yep.
That's so bad.
All right, where is the...